There you go. So we're going to bring the grid up here and have a look at it. Of course, we are in the 6th round of Season 2 of the Anzcar Thunder Series on FGM Cast. Scotty Griffiths with his first pole position. So he's taken out the cap here with Norm Clark next to him. That's a great result for Norman Clark. He'll be absolutely wrapped with getting up on the front row of the grid for Natari Autosport there. Then Thomas Martin, Christopher Finlay off row 2 with Jaiden Russell and Mickey Skurlock off row 3. Andrew Dyson, Damon Stockton off 4 with Josh Micklemore and Lachlan Capel running again tonight off row 5. Look out for that youngster. Edward Foster and Luke Georgeson off row 6. And as we flick over the page, when it gets there, there we go. Daniel Beckinsale, Hamish Gallagher off 7, Brenton West and Justin Cottrell off 8. Then we've got Troy Davison, Lachlan Urquhart off 9, with Gary Wellman and JCW rounding out our top 10 rows. Kate Donnelly, Stephen Williams off 11, with Danny G and Tim Weston off 12. Followed up by Ben Vickers and Mirko Dortnack off 13, Mick Taylor, Mitchell West off 14. Then it's Nathan Rollock, Noddy Tompkins off 15 with Aaron Dillon, Peter Wilkinson off 16, Tristan Cock, Jamie Nankervis off 17 with Dave Douglas, Matty Raymond, Mr. Sheen even off 18, and then Matt Hunter and Jacob Burke. Rounding out the 38 drivers for tonight. What a cracking turnout, and no surprise at all given the track that we are at.
Yeah, really good result, and really nice to see Scotty Griffiths up there for Synergy. We've seen his teammates come in with some absolute wrecking balls and get some good results, and Scotty's been sitting there and thereabouts, just sort of mid-pack generally, but this is the first time we've seen him right up the front for pole position, so he's going to be very happy with that one. Really nice job from him. Good job from Norman Clark, as you said, up there, starting on the front of the pack, and that's generally a good place to start. Looks like Dyson's got an issue. Dyso
there we go, gets it underway.
Yeah, Dyso just had an issue just trying to get away there. So Dyson having some technical issues there. So a slight technical issue there with a mechanical issue there for Dyso.
And there's an unusual front row for us. Scott Griffiths, Norman Clark are going to get away here. We've got quite a wide start. Good start from everyone. You can see there. Just nice and neat as we need to be here as they build up the speed and get this one underway. Scotty Griffiths low line, Norm Clark on the high line for those of you unfamiliar with those two vehicles. Then it's Thomas Martin as well up the front.
Luke Georgeson around. We've got an incident. Luke Georgeson getting caught up with big accident. We have got the big one already. That did not take long. Daniel
Beckinsale, I think, was maybe involved in that one.
Yeah, I think possibly Daniel Beckinsale just behind him. So Georgeson just did not see Beckinsale on the inside. He's just gone down a little bit too soon. I'd say that he's been told it's all clear by his spotter, and then all of a sudden he's gone down, turned down on the 919 of Daniel Beckinsale. Beckinsale's luckily, well, he almost got away with it, but then got hit again, and then a big accident, a huge accident from the back. Lots of cars caught up in that. A couple of the SRM cars really badly damaged. Nathan Rollock, Matty Ray miraculously getting through unscathed, but Noddy Tompkins, Mick Taylor, all getting caught up in that as well, I believe.
As I think we'll go back and have another quick look at this one. We'll have a quick look at this from onboard Peter Wilkinson's 268 entry. I think he might have got lucky here. Might have got real lucky. He sort of had a buffer in front of him. He had nowhere to go.
No, he sort of...
He got a little tap there, but he's managed to get away with that completely.
Yeah, he's got some damage on the front of that one. You can just see there's a bit of damage on the front of the Locked On iRacing entry there. The Brewster Coffee sponsorship logo just a little bit scrunched up. That's going to hurt the aero a little bit, but that's not night over for Wilco, so that will be buffed out a little bit. He'll probably come into pit lane and might try and get a couple of quick repairs on that, or stick it out there, because once you get in the draft, you should be absolutely fine. For Talladega, we've got 64 laps remaining, and it is green. Away we go. Griffiths gets a good start on that low line, breaks a little bit of a gap from Norman Clark. Just got to be a bit careful doing that, because you'll find some people trying to drop it in there. Jaiden Russell already trying to get up there with his teammate. You can see the Synergy Racing team have got some cars up there, trying to work it up there so they can actually get in a line. Obviously, if you can get your teammates next to you, it makes life a lot easier. Much cleaner start through the first corner this time round. cars trying to get on that low line already. It looks like people want to be running the low line rather than the high line. It is quite warm out there, track temperature of 34 degrees, so you do have to watch out a little bit of that right side, getting a little bit hot, and it can do that on the high side occasionally. So you might see some drivers wanting to run that low line more than the high line tonight. But it does look like that low line does have a little bit more speed. See there from Norman Clark, Scott Griffiths getting a good restart there, still leading the race. Highline is starting to work its way up a little bit now. Mickey Skurlock just jumping in behind Jaiden Russell, seeing what he can do about this one. But there are cars moving all around at the back, just trying to work out which line to go for. And people are trying to decide who they want to follow tonight, and that is the big one. So you just need to work out who you want to follow tonight, who you want to get close to, and who you want to work with.
So is it a situation here, Carl, of wanting to lead or wanting to follow?
Follow. Very much wanting to follow. I mean, racing drivers always want to lead, but if this goes green for a long period, you want to be behind somebody because you're going to save fuel. They don't have enough fuel to get to the end, unless we get a lot of cautions, and I mean a lot of cautions. So in that circumstance, you're going to want to be about 2 or 3 cars behind, so you can save as much fuel as possible. When you're sitting a few cars behind, it means you're not sitting on full throttle. Somebody like Scotty Griffiths right now will have his foot right to the floor. He will be sitting on full throttle, where somebody like Christopher Finlay sat back behind Norman Clark and Scotty Griffiths will be sitting on about 3/4 throttle. So he'll be able to save a little bit of fuel there. And the only thing you got to worry about sitting behind another car is just the engine temperature. We have got cars going a bit free wide, a little bit further back, as we see a few drivers trying to work their way through the field. Lachlan Capel with Justin Cortelli and Brenton West as well. So there are a few cars trying their best to work their way up there. Jamie Naknaveris just having a bit of a moment, manages to save it though, in that very pretty liveried car. Reminds me of the old JCW livery, the Monster Energy butterfly livery there of the number 8 of Jamie Naknaveris, just getting a little bit low, just actually caught the yellow line and got on the apron a little bit, but managed to save the car. But up front, the high line is starting to work their way up there now.
Yeah, so Scotty Griffiths and Thomas Martin just leading each of the respective lines at the moment. And the Anzcar marching 2 by 2 behind them. Good to see Andrew Dyson's clearly got those technical issues sorted out, as he is running the gauntlet now in that low line. Chances of us seeing a third line develop, Carl, what do you reckon?
This early on, it would be a bit of a bit extreme to try it this early on. You generally, that's something you want to do towards the end of the race if you really, really want to go for it. Just noticed Brenton West just getting a little bit out of shape out of the corner. I think he's just getting a little bit of air on the car. A few of those drivers that will have had just minor damage will have to watch out for the temperature on the cars now, because you can damage your radiator a little bit. If you've got a little bit of damage to the radiators, running it in a pack like this is not good for the car because it does overheat quite quickly. You're getting all that exhaust gas coming from the car in front of you, and that is very hot air going into a hot engine, which cars do not like.
In preparation, of course, as well for what we've got coming up with the chase, because we're here in a week.
Yes, of course, Las Vegas tomorrow night for the chase, and then we will be at Dega the week after that, of course, because the iRacing servers were busy raining on our parade, and so we had to call off the Cup race and just postpone it for a week. Highline's got a good run out of the corner this time, though. The Highline's actually getting a really good run at the moment with Thomas Martin getting a very good charge up the front. He might even slide down in front of Scotty Griffiths at some stage and see if he can help push him along a little bit. But it is between Martin and Jaiden Russell at the moment. Jaiden Russell is going to try his best to link up with his teammate. You can see Scotty Griffiths getting down the inside of Thomas Martin, trying to make the move.
There it is.
Doesn't happen, but Jaiden Russell slides it in front now. Jaiden Russell is in the lead of the race, leaving Skirley high and dry as he slides back up there. So he wants to link up with Scotty Griffiths at the moment. Those two cars want to get to each other. As there's a bit of contact from the back with Skirley, and we're 3 wide. David Stockton making the move in the DPR car. You can see Skirley joining him for a moment. He thinks better of it. Damon Stockton is going to lose out from this one. He's not got anyone to help him out. His teammate is trying his best, though. You can see Stephen Williams is trying to come up. So Stevie Dubb is trying to get up there and help him out at the moment. So we are 3 wide here at Talladega.
Really, really interesting as people try and shuffle. You can see DPR now getting together. So Stockton and Stevie Dubb have got there. Down on the low line is Andrew Dyson, their other member. You've got Norm Clark sitting up there with...
It's going to get close on that high
there
line.
It is. Oh, there's a bunch.
Stevie Dubb loses it. They're into the wall. They've caught a lapped car, and there's somebody going round.
There it is, Lachlan Urquio.
Nick Taylor's going round.
There's a few.
Lachlan Urquio's gone round. I think
Jamie Nankervis might have been involved in that as well. Maybe Luke Georgeson.
Luke Georgeson as well. Yeah, look, they just caught that lapped car at the wrong time. So Damon Stockton was running up on that high line, and then all of a sudden they catch up to the back of... who was that? They catch up to the back of Tristan Koch. So Tristan had nowhere to go there. And that's the problem of running 3 wide this early in the race like this. Tristan had nowhere to go. They've caught up to him, of course. Tristan is basically out there on his own. He's got no speed. And then there's a huge check-up behind him. And you can see Mick Taylor gets up into the wall, tags the back of Luke Georgeson. Luke Georgeson gets into the back of Lachlan Urquio. Somehow Jamie Naknaveris just... That's going to be one to watch because he did an amazing job of saving that car. Jamie gets caught in the back end. He manages to somehow bounce it off the wall and then save it and get it going straight again. And that is a fantastic save for the number 8. A lot of damage on the rear, but that's not going to affect him too much.
Well, let's go back and have a look on board with Jamie then.
So he gets caught on the rear, bang into the wall, then straightens it out. What a fantastic job there from Jamie. That was a real, absolute super save there because that was going around again if he wasn't careful. Bit of damage on the rear, but nothing more than that. So good job there from those guys. So expect the drivers to come into pit lane.
But you'd have to say that the Synergy boys are going to have an advantage here as we go green. And is Russell and Griffiths take us away. See Brendan West there, really important. He got a good start so that he could try and keep Scott Griffiths out from the low line. And he looks like he's going to be able to do that. Oh, they've chosen to go up to the middle line of the track. That's an interesting decision early on in the race. Not quite at halfway yet, so let's see how that plays out. So that effectively puts Brenton West at the head of that pack. And he's got Christopher Finlay behind him.
Yeah, Christopher Finlay there, and then it is Andrew Dyson as well, and then we've got Timothy West as well, Tim West as well back there just behind Dyso. So there are a few trying to work it out with each other. Now we know that Synergy and the boys at Synergy, they've got a bit of a working relationship, you could say, with Mitch Motorsport as well. Of course, Josh Micklemore, one of the drivers that helped bring a few of them drivers over to the series. So Josh Micklemore might be trying to get past Norman Clark to link up with Russell and Griffiths here because he might have some friends to work with to help him towards the end of this race. But it's going to be the thing of leading is not the exact position you want to be in. Leading here is almost a death sentence for you for the end of the race because it means you're going to run out of fuel coming towards the end unless we get a couple of other cautions.
Norm Clark will be beside himself to be sitting up there in 5th, one of everybody's favourites here in the Anzcar League. He's doing a ripping job so far this evening.
Yeah, look, veteran driver Norman Clark, he has got a lot of skill, and if you glance back behind Norman Clark, he has got 2 teammates working their way up the field as well. He's got Foster and Carol Walden there, and they are both sneaking their way up past young Lachlan Capel and getting their way to that position. So the Natari team are trying to work their way up there and trying to get another all-team lockout for Anzcar. Of course, will anybody be able to do it tonight? We've seen it 3 times in the Cup for the Chase this season.
That's a theme, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's been a bit of a theme this season. Thomas Martin just jumping up to the high line. So he's just helped out Natari a little bit. Thomas Martin jumping up behind Josh Micklemore. That's giving Foster the chance to have a little bit of breathing room. So he's going to get sucked up behind Mitchell West here. and that's going to get him one step closer to his teammate of Norman Clark. So that is good news for that team. They're just going to be slowly working their way up the field now and trying to link up with each other. And that's the hard part, is organising yourselves. Running at, close to 300 kilometres per hour is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, most certainly it can be, particularly at 300 kilometres an hour.
It's funny. You forget about the speed that you're doing sometimes when you're racing like this. You're going along, you're just cruising along, and especially if it's been a nice long sort of stint where you're not racing too hard with each other and you just sort of gotten into a rhythm. You forget that you're going at 300 kilometers per hour, and then all of a sudden you get that call on the radio, free wide, and you look down, you're 300 kilometers per hour, and then all of a sudden the car gets really loose, the back end steps out, the front gets light, and you're just going, oh crap, I didn't realise this was happening. And that's where the old puckering up starts happening.
Absolutely, the old prisoner's nightmare. There's that gap there, it just...
Little bit loose just for Cottrell there. Justin Cottrell and Michael Skurlock just had a little tiny moment. The Flying Whale Poo Racing Team, by its full name. I must say, I absolutely adore that paint scheme and the logo on front of Cottrell. The very, very cool little thing. But he just got very loose. It looks like he's just having a little bit of balance issue in that mid-pack. He's just next to Skirley in the My Little Skirley car, as we see down the inside goes David Stockton going free wide again. Stockton gets into Cottrell, and big accident. We have got another big one.
That was an aggressive move there, and it has caused the big one.
Yeah, look, Joshua Carroll-Walden just got extremely lucky there.
Absolutely.
I tell you, a good place to observe that from would be the right rear of JCW's car, because that was a very hairy moment there for him. But you can see, unfortunately, Cottrell with nowhere to go. Stockton just running right down the inside there, getting caught up with that one. And Cottrell just sort of got caught up with that one, and boom, it's Troy Davidson. So look at that.
It's over the back of Noddy Tompkins' car. He got lucky as well. Almost got wrecked in that event, but there are a number of drivers caught up in that. Just trying to have a look to do the same out of back of JCW. There you go. Wow, just down the inside.
And
there was the yo-yo as well, so it's gone right off and then gone straight back out and up into the high line behind them. So there's no wonder that people got caught out by that. And JCW be counting his lucky stars, that is for sure.
Yeah, that was a scary moment for a lot of drivers there. That would have been a big one. And unfortunately, there, Cottrell, first time seeing him out there, just a sort of unfortunate incident there. Very aggressive move by Stockton. I think Cottrell just got a little bit squirrely and just went into Stockton. So it was sort of one of those moves that, again, this stage of the race, maybe a little bit too much aggression. But, as a racing driver, you do tend to go for it.
You certainly do.
So they're going to come into pit lane and top up on fuel, and this means they can get to the end on fuel. Looks like JCW might be sticking it out there. So JCW's decided to stick it out there with Lachlan
This is a team move. Norm Clark as well.
We are going to go green here at Talladega. We've got 29 laps remaining. It's going to be Norman Clark leading away in the 09 Atari car, and we are green. Away he goes. JCW on the outside. Lachlan Urquhart behind him with Ben Vickers in the Juice Digital car behind him in fourth. Good start for Natari. Juice the digital car not getting away. Ben Vickers just getting away a little bit slow, and that's not what JCW wants to see. He needs to try and slot down behind his teammate at the moment. Foster sort of caught up at the top there as they go free wide. You can see just going free wide with Brenton West up on that high line to try and get past a few of those cars with damage. The Synergy cars are working their way up there. They got a great job. Ben Vickers and Foster have got contact. Into the wall goes Foster and Vickers. Big incident for them. Will we see a caution? Doesn't look like it.
Go back and have a quick look at that when we can. Maybe Foster is resuming.
we have a change for the lead. It is going to be JCW, I think, in the lead.
Yes, it is. JCW, Scott Griffiths up the front. So we've got Natari versus Synergy and Josh Micklemore. You called it, Carl, getting involved with Synergy as well. So it's not effectively, but we've got 3 versus 2 here, as Micklemore will team up for this run to try and take advantage of it. And also, you can see there as well, Thomas Martin getting in on the action. Damon Stockton too, so that high line there working effectively.
Sorry, excuse me, just dropping off a little bit as well, as Jaiden Russell in front of Josh Micklemore and David Stockton, so it's just struggling a little bit with that high line. You can see JCW just absolutely hustling Scotty Griffiths along, because Scotty Griffiths wants to try and slow this race down a little bit so he can get it in linked with his teammate Jaiden Russell, and JCW is just bump drafting him, absolutely nudging him along with his nose, just completely saying, look, no, this low line is going at this speed. If you want to come down here, mate, you're going to have to go at this speed. Otherwise, get out of my way and keep going on that high line.
Yeah, that'll be taking a little bit of a weight off the back of Griffiths as well, so it'll make it a little bit scary or hairy for him. So he has to consider what he does here. You can just see there on the right of his shot as Jaiden Russell starts to pull along beside him. JCW will be very aware of this experienced campaigner, just making sure that he does not allow Jaiden Russell to get down on this inside line.
One of the things that he has to be cautious of as well, of course, when you're actually doing things like that, is not getting your engine too hot, because all of a sudden that thing will go pop and that is your night over and done with, and that can cause a big wreck, especially up here at the front. When an engine blows, the car tends to go a lot slower, a lot quicker, and that can cause a big accident. Luckily, of course, there is no oil modelled into iRacing, so we don't have a nice oily track after an engine goes pop, but it still causes trouble. And where they want to be sitting for the closing stages of this race is... Oh, around goes Griffiths! Griffiths is around with JCW, just giving him a nudge there. So Griffiths just goes down on... Griffiths just gets a little bit high there, gets caught by JCW, and that spins Griffiths round. The 5 is round. JCW is going to drop to the back of the pack. We're still green flag racing,
no caution. Though. No caution.
No caution, no caution. So... that's going to put Jaiden Russell in the lead of the race, with Josh Micklemore in second. Norman Clark's just going to be sitting behind him.
It's got the replay on screen now. Go back quickly and have a look at it from the perspective as well of Joshua Carroll-Walden. Let's do that now.
So it looks like... we'll have to go back again.
Just missed the start of that there. Sorry, everyone. We'll just have another quick look.
So it looks like Griffiths has gone up a little bit and then tried to come back down the line, and just the spotters just not let him know that there was a car on the inside, and that gets caught on the front of JCW's nose. JCW not giving the room, because he, that line is your line. And look, one of those racing incidents, unfortunately. Big shame for Scotty Griffiths, because he was having a fantastic night, really good speed as well. Stockton has got caught out there on his own. That's not a good place to be, as they're getting up to lap traffic as they go wide across the track. Oh, they squeeze it through. Somehow they make it past that.
Unbelievable. 4 wide. I tell you what, those lap traffic guys would be wondering what the heck they've done wrong. Damon Stockton, great driving from everyone there. Good awareness.
Tell you what, if you were sitting on, it's happening again.
Oh,
if you were sitting on a lump of coal, it would be a diamond by about now.
4 wide.
The one thing that does do for those cars that have gone a lap down now is they can try and clip themselves onto the back of this pack and keep themselves in this race. We've got 10 laps remaining at the moment. It's a 0-9 of Norman Clark versus the 28 of Jaiden Russell as they make contact. Clark into Russell. And I think Martin just got into the back of Clark. Big incident at the front, and that is a big one. That is pretty much the whole field involved there. Oh, the humanity.
My goodness me. What just happened?
Big accident there. That, as we say, the big one is only a few moments away, and the big one happened. So I think when we go back and actually have a little look at that, Looks like Thomas Martin got into the back of Norman Clark, pushed him up into Jaiden Russell, and then the whole field getting caught up in that one, unfortunately. Pretty much the whole lead pack getting caught up in that crash, and I don't think there's going to be a car out there without any damage. I did see one car sliding by. Watch for Brenton West. Watch on board with Brenton West, I'd say. That's going to be the car to watch on board for.
Mitchell West?
Brenton West or Mitchell West, it doesn't matter, either of them, because they both got very, very close in that one. But Brenton West made it through.
Scully got caught up in all that as well. So this is the incident from the outside. Just seeing who else got caught up in that. Daiso, Micklemore as well. Daiso couldn't quite get out the way there. He's had a second incident there on the back of the 104 of Christopher Finlay. So there has been a lot of drivers involved in that one, and that's Skirley's. That's unfortunately looks like night over for Daiso as well. That car is blowing a lot of smoke. So let's go back here and have a look on board with Brenton West. So,
yeah, the seas parted for Brenton West there. So watch this one.
Oof.
He gets a little bit of a tap from Mitchell West as well, just in the back. So just a little bit of damage in the back, but the front is pretty much unscathed. So that car is looking pretty good. And we will be going green here for Talladega for Wednesday Night Thunder, the Xfinity Series here on FGM eCast. Good start for Brenton West and Stevie Dubb. Rollock actually getting a good start despite missing most of the front end of that car. Matty Hunter as well up there. Look at Hamish Gallagher putting pressure on Matty Hunter already. You can see the SRM boys moving their way up to let their teammate pass. They're going to go free wide just to help their teammate Matty Ray get underneath them. Matty Ray getting a good charge right now, getting up to the back of Brenton West. Matty Ray on an absolute charge.
There it is.
Tom can just get loose, but manages to save it, so we're not going to get a caution flag out. Good job from that one, saving that one. Stevie Dubb getting a good run on the outside with Matty Hunter on his back with Hamish Gallagher there. Brenton West in the lead at the moment. Matty Hunter on the outside. You can see the Mitch Motorsport cars are linking up with each other now. It's the Mitch cars of Gallagher, Danny G and Josh Micklemore. They're going to link up with each other as well. So this could be an interesting one. Mitch Motorsport might be able to link up and get a really good result here now. 6 laps remaining. This is going to be a classic finish. You just got the feeling it's not over yet. You get that feeling we might see one more caution at least. Brenton West still in the lead, but Stevie Dubb getting a good push out the corner at the moment, with Matt Hunter just behind him, and you can see those Mitch cars trying to work their way up, but Michael Skurlock is really trying to block him from having that happen. Skurley is trying to be the fly in the ointment for that one, but can't quite stick it out. He's dropped to the low line behind Nathan Rolock there, so Matt Skurley has just dropped to that low line for the moment, keeping his nose clean. The Mitch boys are working it up free wide of the high line, so it's free wide of the top line. Stevie Dubb's seen it. He's trying to link up to the top there, trying to break it up there. You can see Matt Hunter trying to get up there as well to stop them from breaking away. Meanwhile, Dave Douglas is on a bit of a charge with Matty Raymond at the front as they're going to cross the line. 5 laps remaining. Dave Douglas has gone up to the high line to get in front of Stevie Dubb. Still Brenton West in the lead. Matty Raymond in second. They're going to go free wide across the line. You can see Matty Ray jumping up to the high line to try and get past Brenton West. He's going to get it done here by the looks of it. Brenton West hung out to dry a little bit on that low line. He's got Nathan Rolock just behind him. Matty Ray and Dave Douglas pushing each other along with Stevie Dubb there. Matt Hunter in the middle there. They're free wide. They're getting a bit waddly. Watch out for the Mitch Motorsport cars as they are on that high line at the moment. You can see Josh Micklemore getting a bit of a push from Hamish Gallagher. Dave Douglas drops to the inside line. Matty Ray sees that and drops in there with him.
It's an unbelievably close run to the finish here. Mitch Motorsport boys are coming on the outside line. They're working together there. You can see that Josh Micklemore, Hamish Gallagher pushing one another along, and Matty Hunter now has dropped down into the low line. He's taken over from Nathan Rolock there. Michael Skurlock gets held out to dry as he's in the middle lane now. Where can he go? Can he get up onto the back of Stevie Dubb? The Mitch boys try to join in, but Skurley cancels the plans and says, "You're not invited to this party, fellas. We're going to have our run in the midline." And I can tell you there, you can see Stevie Dubb getting up high in that line, just cutting him off a little bit there, but he's working. Skurley, we're 4 wide. We're 4 wide again. Skurley trying to make his way through. He wants to get up behind into this lead pack if he can, and he's going to do it. He's going to join in. So this is anybody's race with 4 to go. Matty Raymond. He's got Dave Douglas behind him trying to work with Brenton West and Matty Hunter in the midline. Skirley now was going to be in command of that top line. He hasn't quite moved up there. He is holding off as he gets there now with Stevie Dub. So we're 3 wide again. The Mitch boys trying that midline now, seeing if that works for them as we've got 4 to go. It's about to be 3 to go here at Talladega.
It's important for those drivers to work together to keep those Mitch cars behind him. If those Mitch cars can break away, they will get this race won. But Brenton West is back in the lead. He's going to try and drop down in front of Matty Ray, I would say, at some stage, or will he drop up in front of Skurlock? He can't quite make it. Matty Ray gets a really good drive off the corner. Dave Douglas just pushing him along at the moment. Matty Hunter trying to help him. You can see the Mitch boys have got in the middle. The Mitch boys are now on the back of Matt Hunter, Brenton West. So the Mitch boys are trying to push along. That midline's going to go fast now. Watch the midline push away and watch those Mitch Motorsport boys try and break away with it. The midline has to try and slow it down a little bit so the Mitch cars can't get the chance to get past. They've got 2 laps remaining. Matty Ray, Dave Douglas on the low line. You've got Skurlock, Stevie Dub on the high line, Matt Hunter keeping in the middle, just trying to keep those Mitch boys behind him with Brenton West in front. Will Brenton West be able to hold off the charging Mitch Motorsport boys? Will Matty Ray be able to hold them off? They've really got to keep them from getting in front of them, because if those Mitch boys can get past, they're going to be in with a shout. 2 laps remaining here tonight. We've got Matty Hunter, just getting a little bit loose. He's gone up high. Danny G joining him up on the high line. So it's a Mitch Motorsport have got 2 lines working for them at the moment, as Josh Micklemore's trying to make the pass. He's trying to push his way through. He can't quite do it. Almost gets loose there. You can see just crossing up for Josh Micklemore there as he gets in there. Michael Skurlock now has worked his way behind Dave Douglas. Working his way up to the front is Michael Skurlock, just behind Dave Douglas and Matty Ray. Gary Wellman up there as well. Wellman, we've seen before, have a really good strong end to the stint. We've got a lap car coming up as well.
It's Lachlan
Capel there, so he's going to probably want to try and drop right to the low line, just get out of this one, because there are a lot of lead cars coming up. And you don't really want to get involved in this one, and he does indeed drop right to the low line. The white flag is out. It is Matty Raymond in the lead at the moment. Lachlan Capel just drops right to the low line, gets out of the way of the leaders there. Good job from him. Dave Douglas sticking to the back of Matty Raymond at the moment. Michael Skurlock there. Watch out for Gary Wellman as well. Wellman might have a good charge. The Mitch boys of Hamish Gallagher and Josh Micklemore are both working it, trying to get there. Matty Ray sitting in the middle of the track, trying to block his way there, trying to keep his position locked in there. It's going to be hard as they get to the tri-oval. Dave Douglas is looking good at the moment. Gary Wellman's managed to slot himself up in the front of that high line now. Gary Wellman could get a charge here. Will we see Skurlock jump up there as well? Skirley's trying to get into that high line. Will he manage it? Not quite. Looks like Hamish Gallagher's engine's blown. Hamish Gallagher has lost his engine. It's going to be Matty Ray in the lead. Will Dave Douglas be able to get the pass done? Not quite. It's going to be Matty Ray taking the win. Matty Raymond takes victory at Talladega.
What a finish there. A motor blown on the last corner as well. And you saw there that it was Danny G who got really, really loose too. Managed to avoid taking out anyone else until they'd crossed the start-finish line. My goodness me, what a finish to this race here at Talladega. You would not have been able to pick that out of a hat if you tried.
Matty Ray, Dave Douglas, Michael Skurlock, what a top 3 that is. Stephen Williams, Gary Wellman, Brenton West finishing 6th. Brenton West has consistently finished P5, P6 this season, and once again doing it. Thought tonight could have been the night for Brenton West to finally get that win. Great job from him to get up there. Matty Hunter, P10 in the end.
Absolutely, and even the technology gods were with us. Just got notification that the stream crashed after the race had finished, but we're back live again now, so apologies for that there, just to bring you the celebrations here for Matty Ray. And tell you what, a cracking finish. Looking forward to bringing Matty Ray, Dave Douglas, and Michael Skurlock up into the booth. Steve Williams, a solid finish from him in 5th. Gary Wellman in 4th. Gary Wellman in 5th. So a ripping job there from the 3 at the end. No teammates on the podium, so a really good run from them.
No teammates and 2 solo drivers. That says a lot. Both Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock, both solo entrants out there. Of course, Mickey Skurlock has got his BMX bandits around him, but Dave Douglas and Michael Skurlock, neither of them in teams, just running out there solo, and both managing to get up there for the top 3 positions. But Matty Ray for SRM taking out that victory. That is the finish you want for tonight. That is fantastic for Matty Ray, and that's great news for his championship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A ripping job done by him.